You may have noticed that sometimes when you dissolve a solute into solution, the solution will feel warm to the touch. This is because there is heat released and it's an exothermic reaction. Sometimes when you add a solute to the solvent, it feels cold to the touch. It actually absorbs heat from the surroundings, and this is an endothermic reaction. Have you ever wondered why some are exothermic and some are endothermic? Well, the endothermic reactions are actually what occurs when you have a chemical cold pack. So if you dissolve ammonium nitrate into water, it actually is an endothermic process. The reason for this has to do with the amount of energy that it takes in order to cause the dissolving to happen. So if we think about the intermolecular uh, forces, as we add our solute into our solvent, we actually have to take and separate, overcome those intermolecular forces between the solute molecules. So in our step one, we are overcoming our solute attractions. We're making space, breaking those attractions. In step two, we are actually overcoming the attractions between the solvent particles, making space between those solvent particles to include our solute. So those are both endothermic reactions. We have to put energy in to overcome the attractive forces between the solute molecules and between the solvent molecules. When we mix the two together, we then get the enthalpy of mixing. So we make new attractions between the solute particles and the solvent particles. This is an exothermic reaction. If the amount of energy that is produced from mixing the new particles, so if there's a greater attraction for the solute to the solvent, if that is larger than the amount of energy we put in to overcome the attraction between the solute molecules and the solvent molecules, then overall we have an exothermic reaction. On the other hand, if it takes more energy to overcome the attractive forces between the solute and the attractive forces between the solvent, then we get, when we mix the two, then we end up with an overall endothermic process. Now, you may say, why would this ever happen? Well, the reason that it happens, and these endothermic reactions tend to be a very small amount of energy for the endothermic reactions overall. And the reason it happens is because of the tendency for things towards disorder. So our entropy is what makes our endothermic reactions happen. But they are less frequent, and the amount of energy tends to be pretty small.